We have one system that's dying, and it's trying to grasp and hold on as best as it can as the new system is emerging. And the old system that's dying is this central planned, central controlled system that uses lots of methods to maintain its power, including the narrative, the propaganda. But now we have these decentralized applications and technologies that have sprouted up, and they've lost their ability to do that. And so the rise of the censorship industrial complex. And it's not just countries like North Korea or other countries that you would see going into communism. We're talking about this happening in the United States. The West, which would be Canada, the US, Europe, et cetera, is on the cusp of a way more powerful form of totalitarianism, way more powerful than communism, way more powerful than fascism ever was. It's global. And they're using technology to scale this. And if we are going to defeat this, then we have to understand it. Why are the governments seeking to crack down on freedom of speech right now? Why New Zealand, Netherlands, Brazil, Canada, UK, EU, United States, why are they all doing this? And what is the relevance of the timing and the speed of what all this is happening? The timing of the global crackdown on free speech isn't coincidental. Now, think about this. Last year, the Biden administration tried to implement something called the Disinformation Governance Board. They had this idea to elect this lady to be this information czar who actually was one of the largest spreaders of disinformation. We have numerous accounts of the information she was spreading was all false, but somehow she was going to run this. It was the brainchild of a former CIA, of course, former CIA operative, Rene de Resta of the Stanford Internet Observatory. And when they tried to put this in place, it got massive amounts of backlash. Of course it did. We're America, the land of the free. We're guaranteed by our Constitution freedom of speech. And so, of course, we pushed back on that. Massive backlash on that. And so they had to pull that back. But here's the thing. When you see these crazy bills get introduced, like the Restrict Act, we'll come back to that in a minute, or like this Disinformation Governance Board they try to put forward, and it looks like we win. Hooray, congratulations, we win. We get complacent. They're not done. Like, this is going to be put into place. They're going to bring this back, just in a way that you maybe don't see it or recognize it. And so here it is. We push back. The Biden administration had to shut that down, but now they're just regrouping. Now they're trying to get it put in another way. Now, instead of what they did, and they're changing the narrative, right? So they had this woke defense of what they were trying to say was they were trying to prevent harm. So what they were saying, it was a matter of national security. So we need to protect you. It's a matter of national security. This is why you have to allow us to do this. But of course, nobody wanted that. So now they've changed it to saying, well, it's not national security. Now it's for your protection. Because, there's all this hate. We have to protect you from hate. We can't have you see any of this race-based hate or whatever online, even though we know statistically that the world has become much more tolerant. We're not getting more hateful, we're getting more tolerant. For example, percentage of Americans who approve of marriage between a white and a black American has gone from 4% in 1958 to 87% in 2013 to now 95%. We're getting much more tolerant. There's no evidence of any of these other types of hate-based crimes that we're seeing. Sure, anytime you do a crime against somebody, you probably hate them. There's always going to be hate. Unfortunately, I hate to tell you this, there's always going to be hate. And people are always going to make fun of you for whatever reason they can. Hey, you're ugly, you're dumb, you're fat, you're stupid, you're white, you're black, whatever. Like there's always going to be that bully or that person that does that. I don't approve of that. I don't condone it, but it's always going to be there. So basically what they're saying is we're going to just get rid of everybody being mean because they're going to change human nature through legislation. And that's obviously not going to happen. We've seen in Ireland, lawmakers advance legislation that criminalizes the possession of material with, quote, the potential to cause violence. So that's just by having something that they think has the potential to even cause violence, now they can criminalize that. That means basically if they catch you with information that they think has the potential to do harm, they can arrest you and you could face up to 5 years in prison. Now, that's a pre-crime. You haven't done anything. You're presumed guilty until proven innocent. If you even have the material. You didn't do anything with it. You didn't cause any harm, but you had the potential 5 years in prison. In Brazil, they have a law proposing censorship to protect institutions from violence and institutional delegitimization. So if you say anything against an institution, particularly a government institution, that would somehow make them look dumb or stupid or irrelevant or, as they say, delegitimize, then you go to jail. So again, if we can't control you because now you're not on CNN anymore, and we can't control you on Twitter anymore, then we'll just kill you. In this case, we'll just put you in prison without even doing any crime. In Canada, they're advocating censorship in the name of promoting Canadian culture and content. A lot of that because of what happened with the Freedom Convoy, which they said was racist. We see other places, of course, they're saying it's to protect the children. So that's what they're coming back to in the United States. So now there's sweeping surveillance measures trying to ban TikTok because we're supposedly the Chinese are using TikTok to spy on us. Never mind that all your information from your phone is already being sold to every corporation in the world, including China. They already have the information. But of course, it's to protect the children. But Europe is by far the worst offender here. The EU is seeking far-reaching powers to censor any views or dissent that they don't like. And they want all content moderation decisions to go to private NGOs, non-government organizations. Private NGOs, not democratically elected people. People that have no visibility, no accountability. Private NGOs are going to have the ability to do that. Now, why? Why are the politicians trying to crack down on freedom of speech? Because, back to the book, they're threatened by the revolt of the public. Because the public will always seek truth, will always see what is going on, and that is the revolt. The revolt will be when we know they're lying to us, when we know these institutions are full of fraud, we want to hold them accountable. And anytime the public want to revolt against that because of this information, that's what they want to crack down. They want to hold the power. Scary stuff. Like I said, this is the most important topic of our lifetime. If this fails, everything fails. Again, without freedom of speech, there is no freedom. Now, I also often say that without the freedom to transact, there is no freedom. But it goes in one and the same. Censorship. They want to censor our transactions, the way that I can send money to you. They're doing that with central bank digital currencies. They want to censor my ability to communicate with you, which then censors my own thoughts. It's all censorship.